out here on a extremely foggy, precarious morning. To use a word that Frank likes to use. There's Annie. Thanks for joining my channel where Annie and I talk about mental health is spiritual health. And in the morning we talk about a verse from the Bible and apply it to our lives. And then at night we just kind of hang out. And right now we're listening to old vinyl records that someone discarded. And they run the gamut from opera and orchestras to the Muppet Show to rock and roll. Hey, Fax Prods, good morning. Super foggy and cloudy this morning. This morning we're going to talk about giving back to God. And we're going to be in the first book of Chronicles, chapter 29, verses 10 through 16. But I do want to say it's a very precarious morning because we have freezing rain, and it's even raining a little bit right now. So we have freezing rain on the ground. So even like the leaves are crunchy and slippery. No cat, Boglin. It's foggy, freezing rain, and it smells like a skunk out here, which is pretty strange. Hopefully Annie doesn't find it. So let's go back to giving back to God. 1 Chronicles chapter 29, verses 10 through 16. Everything comes from you, and we have given you only what comes from your hand. Everything comes from you, and we have given you only what comes from your hand. Now that's David was actually talking to Israel, who assembled to gather gifts to build a temple to their Lord God. And that's one of the things that David said in his speech. Good morning, Frank. It's a precarious morning, to use your word. It's foggy. There's ice on the ground, like the ground is slippery and icy. So it's hard to see. It's slippery, and it smells like a skunk out here this morning. We got 3 strikes against us. Hopefully Annie does not find the skunk. Not sure what NPC is, Forestman. Leo Forestman, no clue. So yeah. David's telling the whole assembly after they were giving their gifts that everything comes from you. God, he's talking to God. Everything comes from you, God. He's praising God. And we have given you only what comes from your hand. And that's true. We have to think of that. Everything good comes from God. Everything on this earth is from God. So that's kind of how we have to look at it when we give. And I didn't think that way. I was kind of upset at the Catholic Church with all the hiding of the pedophiles that they had going on, and they were hiding them and moving them from parish to parish and district to district, and it just kind of upset me big time. So I didn't give very much because I figured it was just going to lawsuits. So for a long time I didn't. Now I feel bad about that because, it still goes toward good things in the church. And then the story here in this Our Daily Bread booklet is about a woman. She was talking about how their church was going to build a gymnasium to minister to more people. And when they were worried about giving more money in addition to their weekly giving for this gymnasium, because she had a disability, so there's a lot of costs that come with having a disability. And I'm going down a different path now. And she wasn't sure, and she asked her husband, "Are you sure we can do this? Are you sure we can give extra?" She was very worried. And he said to her, "We're not giving God anything that's not already his. He'll provide all we need." And he did. And over a decade later, she writes that the gymnasium is still serving other people. And they're A-okay. And that's a little bit what David showed leaders of Israel in his commitment to his son Solomon, who was tasked with building the temple when they were gathering gifts to build the temple in 1 Chronicles 29. Everyone followed in Israel and gave willingly, it says, and rejoiced. And David praised God and declared that everything in heaven and earth belonged to him. And he prayed, "Lord our God, all this abundance that we have provided for building you a temple for your holy name comes from your hand, and all of it belongs to you." That's so true. When we have to think about all good things come from God, right? Annie, what you doing? Even my dog Annie, all good things come from God. Everything that we have comes from God, and we can't take it with us when we die, right? So when we consider everything that God has done for us, everything, and everything that we have is actually from God, specifically everything he's done for us, including a gift of a personal relationship and salvation through his son Jesus, we can express our worship and show our gratitude and love simply by giving back. That's it. Because he's the giver of all good things. All good things come from God. All good things come from God. So questions for you guys. 1, how does acknowledging that all things belong to God change the way you view giving? How does acknowledging that all things belong to God change the way you view giving? And how can expressing your gratitude through giving change you? How can expressing your gratitude through giving change you? Just a question. Now, my most recent giving, I don't think I ever talked about it, had nothing to do with giving it to God. I was just paying people back, and they should have kept it. But that's okay. It does look spooky out here. You got freezing rain on the ground, fog in the air, along with a skunk smell. It's fantastic. Hey, Pintu, I'm good. How are you? Hey, that's a good point. It shifts our mindset from one of ownership to one of stewardship. That's great, Jay. That's great. That's a good point. Our possessions, our resources, and our talents become tools to fulfill a greater purpose rather than just what we want selfishly in this life. That's a good point. Man, it's so foggy you can't even see the creek back here, which you normally can see. You can see it faintly. I don't even know where Annie went. Yeah, this is a nice place. It's not mine, I just found it. It's a place to watch the sunrise. Your dad's a professional preacher? Nice. Yeah, I am not a professional preacher or pastor or therapist or doctor. I just believe that mental health is spiritual health, and I like to talk about the Bible in the morning. Even the trolls may get something good. Stefan, I'm not sure what you're talking about. I don't smoke. I hate smoking. Putting stuff in your lungs is just horrible. What is my job? I'm retired. If the right opportunity comes up, I'll come out of work, but I'm not looking anymore. I'm tired of looking for years and not getting anything. It's just, hey, you guys can see this thin layer of ice here. I don't know if you can tell, but this is a thin layer of ice, and it's all over the ground. It's really slippery, very precarious to walk on. What was my job? I was an electrical engineer in an R&D, more development work to go into the market. I did project management work, and then program management and product management type work. Then I even went into sales for a supplier to an industry. I went into account management and sales. And then I went back into a technical leadership role. So I've done a lot of things, and I don't know, about 30 years of work, roughly. Yeah, more like 27. I worked for 27 years. But nothing the last 6. What do you say, Tyrone? I don't know, what do you think? We could listen to the Bible too, Tyrone. Oh, you thought I was 46? Thanks. No, I'm 54. I'm 54. I'll be 55 in a few months. Look at Annie. Oh, Rick, your girlfriend's 53. Nice. Yeah, you can even kind of tell the thin layer of, I don't know if you guys can see the thin layer of ice on the ground, but it's like crunchy and slippery to walk on. You can kind of see the ice here on top of this thing. It's really cool. So it's almost like a frozen fog. And it's raining ever so slightly. Thanks, Pintu. Thanks for joining the channel. Yeah, I did retire young. Thanks, Tyrone. It's beautiful out here. Oh, Rick, you're disabled? What do you have? Man, you can even see the ice just formed and dripping off the off the wired fence here. That's ice, that's not water. It's kind of cool out here. It's really pretty. Fell off a roof and blew the tip of my heart out. I don't know what you're talking about, Rick. Why this place? Because it's pretty and I can see the sun from here, so I can do a sunrise YouTube live. I just can't do it right now. Yeah, I know there's a lot of trolls here. Not much I can do. I can time out some people. Hey, B, what's going on? Oh, you're off today. Nice. That's cool. Hopefully it's a better day than we've got. This is a frozen fog with a little bit of freezing drizzle going on right now. It's kind of cool, and there's like a thin layer of ice on everything, as you can see on the top of this wood. And the little ice crystals hanging off the wire. It's really pretty out here, except for the fact that it's slippery and I can smell a skunk. Full heart attack. Sound like Bronny James, Rick Jones. Yeah, I can hide people too. That's true. No, dear, just a skunk. This is what is this? This is Central Ohio. This is Columbus, Ohio. A lot of weirdos on here. How did you not go to the hospital, Rick? That's impossible. Really? Yeah, I was born in Ohio. You can hear Annie running on the crunchy ice. Hey, Annie, you ready? Ready to walk back? You can see the two fences go off into the frozen fog. It's pretty cool. You were born in Yugoslavia? Oh yeah, that's true. Where are you right now, Jay Smart? Come on, Annie. Annie's got her big stick. Big stick, big branch. Guys, remember you're giving to your church. Remember, your giving to your church is simply giving back to God what He's given you, because everything belongs to God. All good things come from God. Hello from Ireland. Nice, Fred. Yeah, it is creepy out here. It's a frozen fog. We got a thin layer of ice on the ground too. You can see it on the top of these, on the top of this wood, this ice. You're a Protestant? Oh, that's cool, Jay. Oh, you're in England. Nice. That's cool, Jay. Good for you. Yeah, I'm not in a position to be able to do that right now. Like I said, I'm basically retired and haven't worked in about 6 years. So, Fred, this is Central Ohio. We've got a frozen frog and a thin layer of ice. It's still drizzling. You can hear it hitting the ground, hitting the ice on the ground. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it can get boring being retired. It's like one of those situations where you can see where retired people and older people just say, I just want to die and go to heaven. Because, yeah, doesn't everybody want to be there? Everybody wants to be in heaven and not be in here. It'd be really nice to be in heaven with Jesus. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. And I hope everybody has a great day. And maybe we'll see it tonight, where we're spinning old 33 vinyl records. Or maybe we'll see you tomorrow morning. But either way, have a great day. Okay, guys? Annie and I are signing off. Peace.